Alright, we're returning to the wild world of Dandadan, the funny, weird, 2024 anime mixing ghosts and aliens. Get ready for some crazy adventures and a great meal of the bizarre. Let's jump in. Episode 1 kicks off with Ayase Momo, who just broke up with a scumbag because he looked like her idol, Takakuraken. Turns out he was ugly and only wanted money or a hotel to date. So, they ended up fighting. Feeling down in the hallway, Momo spots a boy being bullied. His name is Ken. He's got mushroom-cut hair and is calmly reading a UFO magazine while getting poked with paper. Annoyed, Momo helps stop the bullies and leaves. 10, delusionally thinking Momo likes him, runs after her and talks about supernatural phenomena. Momo believes in ghosts but not aliens, while Ken believes in UFO but not ghosts. They argue and decide to split up to prove each other wrong. Momo heads to an abandoned hospital called a UFO sanctuary, and Ken goes to a spiritual tunnel. Momo shares how she was teased as a child for doing a peace ritual her grandma taught her. Her grandma used to believe strongly in ghosts because her great-grandma was a spirit medium, but after being mocked by friends, she got mad and stopped. Meanwhile, Ten sees red, blood-like footprints and is stalked by an old woman with eyes like headlights, who demands to eat his banana. Momo hears this and guesses it's Turbo Baba, a type of vengeful spirit that curses those it caches. Momo warns him, but Ken runs anyway, chased until his phone loses connection. Unable to reach him, Momo rushes to the tunnel, but she's also captured by 3 identical men. When she wakes up, she's tied to a chair, wearing only a bikini, surrounded by these guys who call themselves Sabo. They claim to be from a planet with only males and want to harvest human reproductive organs for a research. Just then, a foot flies out of a phone and kicks one of the Sabo guys away. Then, a figure wearing Ken's uniform but with Turbo Baba's head appears from the phone. It's Ken, whose body has been possessed by Turbo Baba. Turbo Baba is controlling his body, while Ken, though not fully conscious, is still fighting the spirit for the banana. The Sabo guys reveal their true forms, 3 slug-headed humans, and rush in to grab the banana too. A chaotic fight breaks out. Ken is thrown against a wall and wakes up. He explains his love for UFO comes from being bullied. He hoped aliens would help him. Meeting Momo and getting her help made him feel protected, so now he wants to protect her. Even if he becomes a monster, Momo is mesmerized by the psychic energy. She remembers her grandma's peace ritual, which she had dismissed, and takes a gamble using it. Energy bursts from Momo's body, destroying everything and sending one Sabo flying out of the ship. Ken, not transform, attacks Momo too. She unleashes energy, hitting Ken and forcing Turbo Baba out of him. However, the curse isn't lifted because the spirit took Ken's little guy with her. Before leaving, she tells them to find her at the tunnel. The battle ends, and they realize both ghosts and aliens are real. Momo lost her phone and clothes, while Ken lost his little guy. Ten gives Momo his shirt and says he'll go to the tunnel alone. Momo disagrees. Finally, she asks for his full name and is shocked to learn it's the same as the idol she liked. Episode 2. Momo can't accept that this doofy guy has the same name as her idol. When Ken starts losing control due to the curse again, she slaps him into a wall and tells him not to mention his real name. Since Ken loves mysterious things, Momo gives him a new nickname, Okarun, from the English word occult. She takes Okarun home to a shrine with a barrier against evil spirit. As soon as he crosses the gate, he catches fire and has to roll on the ground to put it out. Momo then removes a talisman so Okarun can enter. Her grandma is away. Momo goes to change, and as soon as she's out of sight, Okarun has another episode, so she constantly has to use her powers to stabilize him. Momo is curious if his little guy is still there. Checking confirms it's completely deleted. They start blaming each other. Okarun says he'll handle Turbo Baba himself so Momo isn't involved. Momo frankly tells him he doesn't have friends because he isolates himself. She tells him to keep talking about supernatural things with her and not ignore her. Okarun is deeply moved and starts crying, but it doesn't last long before they start bickering again. Meanwhile, the doorbell rings. Okarun thinks grandma is back, but Momo says she's never heard that sound before. Her grandma had warned her the house has 2 doorbells, one for people and one for evil spirit. She suddenly remembers she removed the talisman, causing the trouble. The evil spirit is at the front door, so the 2 sneak out through the back door to put the talisman back. A thick black fog covers the sky. Okarun considers running ahead to avoid getting burned with her, but an invisible wall blocks him. The toxic fog makes Momo's nose bleed. Okarun also struggles against his transformation. The demon appears an old man with doll-like hair, as sumo physique, swinging punches at them. For some reason, all the demons in this show love bananas, and this guy is also after Okarun's banana. They dodge, but the talisman falls. The sumo guy relentlessly punches, and the two run for their lives. Okarun realizes this is a blastwood monster, a 3-meter-tall alien. But the doorbell is for detecting evil spirits, meaning there's a connection between ghosts and aliens. The toxic fog thickens, and Momo can't suppress the curse and fight the monster at the same time. Okarun transforms again, this time not fully in control, with his left arm turning demonic. He tells Momo to completely unleash the curse, just keeping his head from transforming so he can maintain his sanity. With no time left, Momo agrees. As the attack approaches, the upgraded Okarun destroys it. His hair is now white mixed with red, his personality is negative, but his strength is incredible. However, he soon coughs up blood because he can't handle Turbo Baba's power. Momo quickly suppresses it again and pulls him away from the attack. She realizes if the giant's hand touches the ground, it will be destroyed. They work together. Okarun breaks its leg, and Momo suppresses the curse while attacking, making its hand touch the ground. The monster disappears, but before they can rest, it regrows its leg, grabs Momo, throws her against a wall, and punches her into a crater. Okarun is about to ignore his body and transform again, but Momo stops him. Despite being hit repeatedly, she survives and waits for an opportunity. When the wall breaks open, Momo uses her psychic power to pull Okarun out, puts the talisman back on the gate, and the giant is immediately burned away. The sky turns clear again, and Momo collapses from exhaustion. With no one suppressing him, Okarun transforms again, and the world in his eyes turns blood red. Episode 3. Ticking up from the last episode, Momo's grandma is back and immediately kicks the pervert who was groping her granddaughter into a ditch. This young-looking woman holding a baseball bat and smoking is Momo's grandma, Siko. A pen pops out of the baseball bat, and Siko will use it to draw bearers. Okarun, who is currently restrained, is possessed by Turbo Granny. The spirit tries to escape, but Siko turns the pen into a bat and hits Turbo Granny's head like a baseball. Turbo Granny warns that if she's burned, Okarun's body will be burned too, but it's unclear if Siko cares. That night, Momo wakes up and immediately looks for her grandma to ask about Okarun. Siko is still annoyed about what Momo said as a child, so even though she announces her intention to destroy the spirit outside the house, she still mocks Momo. Back then, Momo saw her grandma as a fake medium, saying ghosts weren't real. Momo kneels and apologizes, begging to know Okarun's whereabouts. Grandma says he's in the main hall. Momo thinks she harmed Okarun and rushes to the main hall, but contrary to her worry, the friend Grandma thought was gone is calmly eating. Siko follows and explains that keeping Okarun in the hall helps prevent transformation. He'll lose control if he steps outside. Momo boasts to her grandma that she has superpowers from meeting a UFO. Siko, who believes in the spiritual, is of course not interested in science fiction. She then talks about going to the tunnel where Turbo Granny resides and seeing earthbound spirits. These spirits are tied to the place they died and cannot leave their territory, but within it, they are nearly invincible. Even the strongest spirit masters can't fight them. Worse, Turbo Granny has merged with an earthbound spirit. She advises Momo not to get into too much danger. However, Momo still wants to help Okarun, so Siko reluctantly shows them how to deal with it. They need to lure Turbo Granny out of Sono City, the earthbound spirit's domain, because Siko's power only works in Kamijir City, where her deity resides. Momo and Okarun have to figure things out themselves. The next day, they start training. Everything has Kai spirit energy, and Momo controls objects or suppresses curses by seeing and grasping this Kai. Siko advises her to close her eyes and feel it intuitively. So Momo tries to catch Okarun's Kai but failed. Meanwhile, Okarun will transform if he leaves the hall without suppression. He's been holding it since morning because he doesn't want to be seen while using the bathroom, but when he can't hold it anymore, he has to go with the toilet door open. While the two girls are talking, Momo accidentally stops looking at Okarun, giving Turbo Granny an opportunity to appear. The space turns red. Grandma and Okarun are frozen. Turbo Granny warns that if Momo doesn't come to the tunnel tonight, she can kill anyone Okarun has met, including Siko. Then, the space returns to normal, but both Grandma and Okarun are bleeding from their ears and noses. Momo tells her friend everything. That night, Momo and Okarun put on exorcism robes, preparing to face Turbo Granny. Before they leave, Siko hugs her granddaughter and tells her not to die. Momo nods, and they take the train to the tunnel. Episode 4. Momo and Okarun enter the tunnel, but suddenly Turbo Granny's giant face appears, blocking both ends. Momo uses psychic power to throw the baseball bats she brought into her eyes. Then, Momo releases the curse on Okarun. As soon as he transforms, he becomes negative but immediately turns back to normal. Momo also can't see Okarun's Kai, so she can't control him. Turbo Granny realizes they are exploiting the curse and returns Okarun's little guy. The two heads at either end of the tunnel merge and prepare to swallow the kids. Seeing this, Momo challenges Turbo Granny to a race. Turbo Granny agrees immediately, confident in her speed. The rule is they get a 10-minute head start, with no finish line. If caught, they lose. The race begins. Momo thought they could last 10 minutes, but Turbo Granny cheated, counting time crazily. After only a short distance, Momo is caught and trapped in a disgusting pile of flesh. Okarun's turn begins. Turbo Granny counts time like crazy again. 1, 100, 200. Okarun refuses to play anymore, lunges at her body, and uses a move called Dottie Style, which is way too gross. His exorcism robe weakens her. Finally, she merges into Okarun's body and tears his shirt open. Momo, though buried under flesh, feels Turbo Granny's Kai and quickly suppresses it before being counterattacked. But it's not over. An earthbound spirit appears, demanding Turbo Granny back. A giant crab appears and chases them. Okarun transforms and carries Momo, trying to escape. Because he's carrying someone, he can't avoid hitting a metal bar, and they both fall off a cliff towards the town. The crab follows closely behind. They run into a resort, and the crab smashes through the building. Water from the public bath overflows. Since it's hot water, the crab is slowed down by being cooked. They continue running, but when they reach the edge of Sono City, a group of grotesque people blocks them. These are cemetery spirits loaned power by Turbo Granny. Okarun is exhausted but takes one last risk, transforming to break through the encirclement. Momo uses psychic power to clear a path, creating a Kai hand to grab a tall tower and throw them both out of the city. While falling, Momo sees a train below. Okarun's feet return to normal. He tries to transform again but can't. Momo accidentally lets go, freeing Turbo Granny from Okarun's body. She merges with the crab, becoming a powerful monster overconfident. She allows them to escape Sono City, saying they can have as much time as they need. Momo replies that 1 second is enough. Just as the train passes, Momo uses psychic power to pull herself and the unconscious Okarun onto the roof of a train car. Turbo Granny, feeling the train can't be as fast as her, is immediately lured into chasing it. She smugly jumps onto the train, unaware she's jumped into a trap. This train is heading to Kemoj City. Momo's grandma has already set up a barrier there. As soon as the train leaves Sono, Turbo Granny is immediately burned, and the crab dissolves into ghost girls who also disappear. Afterwards, Siko takes the two to the tunnel for a ceremony. Initially, she didn't want to use force because the earthbound spirits were the ghost girls who were murdered there, and Turbo Granny, who often appears in places like this tunnel, was there to comfort the souls of the unjustly killed girls. Episode 5. 5 days later, they go to school as usual, except now they are always looking forward to seeing each other. Momo wants to talk about the universe, while Okarun wants to ask about ghosts. Lunchtime finally arrives. They walk past each other's classrooms at the same time, looking for the other, but because it's crowded, they pass without realizing. Of course, they don't find anyone in class. Then they look in the cafeteria and food stalls, but fate is cruel, and they still don't meet. Even when they sit just a hallway apart, they don't see each other because each is overthinking that the other hates them and is avoiding them. But when they both get tired and stand up to go back to class, they run right into each other. The scene of their lips touching in an accident is witnessed by Momo's best friend. The two hot-headed kids get embarrassed and angry, argue, and then Ish goes home. Okarun goes to the bathroom and discovers a shocking truth. His banana is back, but his 2 balls are missing. He immediately runs to find Momo to talk, but she's angry and won't see him. After school, Okarun bumps into a pink-haired girl named Ara. He's captivated by her cuteness and her green tea vibe, a term for someone seemingly sweet but manipulative. Momo accidentally sees this scene and overhears Ara telling a friend she's just teasing Okarun for fun. So Momo immediately uses psychic power to drop a large basin on Ara's head and pulls Okarun away. The two finally make up. Okarun tells Momo about the banana being back, but the ball's missing. He follows Momo home to ask for Siko's help. She says there's still something inside him. Momo follows her grandma's instructions, places a basin of water under Okarun's feet, and puts a lucky cat statue in front of him. Siko uses a spell and hits Okarun. His Kai immediately changes. It's not his, but from another entity. Momo uses psychic power to pull it out and force it into the cat doll. The cat immediately comes alive and runs off. Momo feels its Kai and chases after it to catch it. The spirit in the cat is Turbo Granny. When she was burned by the barrier, she turned into a spirit body and possessed Okarun. She threatens that if he wants his 2 balls back, he must kill Momo and Siko. If he chooses to kill her instead, he should say goodbye to Okarun forever. Okarun somehow still transforms even after Turbo Granny is gone. Siko explains that Turbo Granny might have clung too tightly to his body, so when she was hit and her consciousness was pushed out, her spiritual power still remained, and only Siko can get her out of the cat's body. Turbo Granny immediately finds herself in a weak position, begs for forgiveness, and is beaten mercilessly by Momo's grandma. Okarun returns to his normal state on his own. He realizes he transformed because he was angry at Turbo Granny's outrageous demand. When he calms down, he returns to normal. Momo makes a deal with Turbo Granny. If she returns the balls, they'll return her power. Turbo Granny also backs down and agrees to make peace, but unfortunately, she dropped Okarun's 2 balls and doesn't know where they are. Episode 6. Momo and Okarun look for his balls, but have no luck. The balls were wrapped in Turbo Granny's power, becoming golden balls. They are easy to identify, but because they contain a huge amount of life energy, they easily attract demons. They were probably picked up by a demon. The next day, kids in class want Okarun to introduce them to Momo. Now the guy realizes his friend he's been hanging out with is a cute girl. Some eyes in class continue to spread rumors about Momo. Okarun hears this and gets angry, transforming and immediately grabbing the guy opposite him by the neck. After a while, he calms down and releases the guy. Turbo Granny, in cat form, pops out of Okarun's backpack. He quickly shoves her back in and takes the backpack outside to talk. She still hasn't given up trying to lure Okarun into returning her power. Although controlling the transformation is difficult, he's not giving it back anytime soon. Momo's grandma appears behind Okarun unexpectedly. Ever since his eyes were opened gained the ability to see spirits, he sees her and finds her adorable. Then he gets embarrassed and avoids looking at her, even though Momo chases him, trying to talk. Grandma, forgotten by the two, takes a walk around the school. Lil Ara, who messed with Okarun, is back. The other day, she saw Momo's psychic arm throw a basin at her head and thought Momo was a... Ara also has the delusion that she is the chosen one to exorcise evil. Since she picked up a golden ball that fell from the sky, she's been able to see ghosts. That's what you're thinking, it's the ball that Okarun lost. Ara borrows a cross and Bible and plans with her friends how to deal with Momo after school. She also sees a woman in a red dress following her and thinks it's Momo's spirit familiar. Elsewhere, Turbo Granny overheard everything and returns to tell Momo and Okarun what she heard. They suspect the person who took the ball might be the one Turbo Granny overheard, because if a human picks up the golden ball, it will awaken their spiritual power, allowing them to see ghosts while also being targeted and attacked by them. After school, Ara asks to talk to Momo privately. Momo separates from Okarun to go with Ara. She tells Okarun that Ara is the person she overheard. Ara takes Momo to an abandoned warehouse and, with her two best friends, pins her down and ties her up. She shoves the cross in Momo's face, trying to exorcise her. Angry, Momo uses psychic power to pull Ara's two friends, who are holding her legs, and throw them away. Ara continues, pulling out the golden ball and pushing it into Momo's face. Okarun arrives just in time, but can't get the ball back because a red-clad demon appears and grabs Ara, preventing him from taking the ball. It claims to be Ara's mother. Okarun transforms and attacks the red-clad demon, but it swallows half of his body. Momo continues to use her superpower, grabbing him and pulling him back, but since her hands are tied, she can't pull with full force. Momo is thrown away, and Okarun is completely swallowed into the demon mother's belly. The demon continues, grabbing Ara and demanding she call it Mom. When Ara was young, she saw ghosts and mistakenly called it Mom, so it's been following her ever since. Turbo Granny uses her phone, opens the chat CVT app, and finds out it's a demon named Acrobatic Suki. Ara, still thinking she's the chosen one, uses the cross to try to exorcise Acrobatic, which makes it angry and swallow her too. The demon mother turns and uses her hair to strangle Momo and throws her around mercilessly. It says it will spare her if she calls it Mom, but Momo directly calls it a piece of crap. Then she's sent to join her two friends in the belly. The Acrobatic is suddenly burned from the inside. Turns out the cross little Ara was holding was just a lighter. Momo used it to burn the black hair tying her. The demon mother's belly gets hot, and she quickly vomits the 3 little brats out. Episode 7, Acrobatic is furious, using her hair to grab metal bars, attack Momo's group. Okarun transforms and carries Ara, running away. The warehouse has too much stuff, so they can't run fast. Above them, the demon mother is like a spider, quickly chasing. Okarun ducks through small gaps, running circles around the warehouse. The demon's hair shoots out everywhere like cobwebs. Finally, he's hit. Just as the demon is about to lunge and swallow Ara, it can't move because its hair is wrapped around the warehouse pillars. Acrobatic immediately breaks the pillars to escape. Momo quickly grabs the demon's leg so Okarun can attack. But ever since getting superpowers, other than the first time she lost consciousness, Okarun mostly just runs. He hasn't actually hit anyone. Momo can't hold on anymore, and the demon lunges to attack her. In a moment of crisis, Okarun transforms and uses a headbutt attack, stabbing straight into the demon's belly. The demon is defeated, and Okarun gets one of his balls back from Ara. Bad news is Ara has stopped breathing. Momo and Okarun try to perform CPR. Acrobatic wakes up, shows remorse, and wants to use her kai to sustain Ara's life. Momo doesn't believe her, so she tears her mouth open to prove she has no intention of eating Ara anymore. So Momo agrees to help transfer kai, while Okarun will keep watch. During this, Momo activates her superpower, one hand grasping Ara's weak kai, the other touching Acrobatic's kai to transfer it to Ara. The Acrobatic's past is revealed. She was a single mother who worked multiple jobs, including selling flowers, just to raise her daughter. After saving for a long time, she bought her daughter a red dress for her birthday. But that day was the most horrific day of her life. 2 loan sharks broke into her home and took her daughter. She tried to stop them but was beaten, and one eye was stabbed and damaged. Despite her injuries, she dragged herself to find her daughter but died on the way. Even after death, her soul wandered, searching for her daughter, to the point she forgot who she was looking for. One day, little Ara mistakenly thought she was her mother and held her hand. From then on, she believed she was Ara's mother and always followed to protect the girl. After Ara came back to life, the demon mother's kai was depleted, and her body gradually faded. But because she still missed her daughter, she couldn't pass on. If she continued like this, she would disappear into nothingness, forgotten by both the living and the dead. Ara wakes up, hears everything, runs to hug the demon mother, comforting her soul before she completely vanishes. Episode 8. One ball is recovered, but there's still no news about the other. Momo and Okarun go to school as usual, but he starts avoiding her again, claiming he's busy writing a report. At lunchtime, Momo's 2 best friends suspect he has a girlfriend on the side. At first, she doesn't believe them, but remembering Ara's face, she gets annoyed. Momo gets up to buy a drink. On the way back to class, Momo spots Okarun and Ara getting cozy and whispering. Rewind a few minutes. Okarun was training to improve his physical strength when he felt he was too weak and always let Momo take risks. Ara suddenly comes to find him. She confesses her feelings and wants to kiss him. Luckily, Okarun has some shame and pushes her away. Ara continues her relentless attack, and he keeps resisting. After some pushing and shoving, the guy pins her to the ground. Ara happily closes her eyes and puckers her lips, ready for a passionate kiss. And we have the scene of Momo cashing them in the act. Okarun chases Momo, wanting to explain, but she's angry and won't even look at him. Okarun regrets his lie that caused Momo's misunderstanding. He's studying and training in class when suddenly the floor under his feet turns into water, and his friends around him disappear. A scream echoes. Okarun immediately runs outside and sees Ara standing in front of the class. Outside the window, it's completely dark. Everyone is gone. He runs to the next classroom to find Momo but doesn't see her either. Momo is now in another hallway outside. She tries to pull the door open to escape, but it's no use. The water at her feet is rising. She hears something moving. At the end of the hallway, a monster is gradually appearing. Momo manages to hide behind the door before it sees her. But when she pulls the door, causing the water to ripple, the monster immediately senses someone nearby. It sucks up the water at its feet and fires a water laser, sweeping across the entire area. When it leaves the top part, the entire classroom area is destroyed. On Okarun's side, Ara still thinks Momo caused this. He can only tell her about them cashing the space people, so she understands. As they talk, a shrimp mantis monster appears and attacks. Okarun transforms and pulls Ara away from the attack. But then another force pushes him down, forcing him back to human form. These are the guys from episode 1 back again. Ara, overestimating herself, tries to fight them and is defeated in one hit. They continue, grabbing Okarun and preparing to cut off his little guy to take it back when they are wrapped in pink hair. To enter this space requires high spiritual power. Ara appears here, so of course, she's not ordinary. She has transformed, and her appearance and abilities are exactly like acrobatic Suki. Episode 9. Continuing from the previous episode, Ara is naturally gifted. As soon as she got powers, she used them skillfully and kicked away 2 Sabo guys. Okarun quickly looks for clothes to cover himself while Ara fights the other 2 alone. The shrimp mantis monster is kicked onto the ceiling. Just as she's about to press the advantage, she's hit by a counterattack. The Sabo guys use psychic power to pin Ara to the wall and also seal her power. At this moment, Okarun as a naked figure jumps to save her, but it's not very effective. The 3 Sabo guys gather and unleash their ultimate space to suppress the 2 kids. The remaining shrimp mantis soldier is tasked with attacking Okarun. Momo arrives and pushes back the Sabo guy's space. Okarun takes the opportunity to transform and escape the suppression space. Ara also transforms to help, but as soon as she opens her mouth to argue with Okarun, she distracts Momo. The Sabo guys suppress all 3 again. Momo regains focus and pushes back the suppression. The other 2 go into battle mode, but the shrimp mantis soldier has been improved and is stronger. Ara can't easily defeat it anymore, and she teams up with Okarun to break its mouth. The 2 are fighting the monster but cling to each other, which annoys Momo. She again loses focus and pushes back the suppression. Just as the Sado guys are about to attack again, something new happens. The water at their feet rises and submerges everything. Even the walls turn into water. The monster charges but also attacks its allies, the Sabo guys. Momo and Okarun quickly escape ahead, and Ara falls behind, getting hit and thrown onto the ceiling. The shrimp mantis soldier becomes stronger underwater, but it can't breathe underwater, so it has to surf it. Okarun takes the chance, transforms, and tries to use his speed to escape, but unfortunately, Turbo Baba can't swim, so they have to strain themselves to swim forcefully. Okarun wants to go back and save Ara. Momo argues with him, then they switch to having a heart-to-heart talk. Then a new attack comes. Okarun pulls Momo underwater to avoid it. Momo thinks of a plan. Okarun is like a slippery eel. Momo uses psychic power to constantly squeeze and push him forward. Ara has launched onto the ceiling and saved Ara. Next, Momo pulls Ara and tells her to take off her wet clothes to move easier. On the other side, the useless shrimp mantis soldier accidentally kills its own teammate. Also takes too long to take a breath, allowing Momo's group to escape. As a result, it's caught by the only remaining Sabo guy and merges with him. Okarun, Momo, and Ara dive underwater, but are hit by a water laser attack. All 3 surface to breathe, while the merged Sabo after combining is underwater, storing water in its throat. They decide to attack its throat. Underwater again, Ara uses her hair to wrap around its neck but is punched away by a laser. All 3 struggle to dodge. Okarun and Ara are thrown away, leaving only Momo facing the merged Sabo directly. Its claw tries to flatten her, but she uses psychic power to shatter all the surrounding water. The characteristic of the shrimp mantis is that if it uses full force to punch on land, its body can't withstand it and will shatter. It pulls Momo underwater, wanting her to drown. Ara quickly uses her hair to catch it. Okarun uses the path of hair and shoots like a rocket, hugging Momo while piercing through the monster's body. The world returns to normal, but Momo and Okarun are hugging each other naked in the hallway, seen by all their friends. Plus Lil Ara is there too, so the 3 of them run like crazy to find a place to hide. Episode 10, the 3 change into gym clothes and hide in the nurse's office. Ara's 2 friends take her away. Ara says she will blame everything on Momo. Only the 2 are left in the nurse's office. This is when Okarun explains the scene Momo saw at lunchtime. He also confesses that he's been training himself. He wants to be cooler in Momo's eyes. The atmosphere becomes suggestive, and Momo's 2 friends come looking for them again. After returning to class, Ara pretends to be weak and wants everyone to forget she was naked. But her friends think Momo bullied her, and they want to teach Momo a lesson. Hearing this, Ara's conscience kicks in. She confesses that she spread the rumors about Momo so people wouldn't look for her. Ara goes outside and meets Momo. They encounter the shrimp mantis guy again, who is barely alive. But before anything happens, it faints. Then it wakes up, its wounds are bandaged. Momo takes it home to prove to Siko that aliens exist, but her grandma still thinks it's a demon. The shrimp guy is moved to tears. It swears it won't attack anymore. It confesses its child is sick and needs blood transfusions daily, requiring a lot of money. Its planet is a war zone, so it became a mercenary for money. And now it's too weak, so it can only work for those guys. It regrets it and wants to leave, but Siko stops it. She looks at its white blood and smells a familiar scent. It's cow's milk, so it returns to the universe with the cow that Siko gave it earlier. Meanwhile, a red-haired young man named Jij has come to Momo's house. He's her childhood friend and first love. Episode 11. This handsome but mentally unstable guy will now live at Momo's house. His parents were hospitalized because of the demon Jij saw in middle school. Their family moved away and lived on a distant mountain. From then on, he always felt something strange in every corner of the house. One day, Jij saw an evil spirit in his house. His parents initially didn't believe him, but their health gradually weakened. The spirit mediums they invited couldn't exorcise it. 3 of these mediums even committed suicide. A spirit medium suggested Jij seek Siko's help, but her power can't be used outside of Kamigo City. Momo will go to Jij's house to deal with the evil spirit because it might be related to Okarun's remaining ball. The next day, Jij transfers to Momo's class. He spreads the rumor that he's Momo's boyfriend and is living with her so everyone knows. As for Okarun, the guy is brooding because Momo's first love appeared. He's overthinking everything, even thinking Momo will leave him. At lunchtime, Okarun is still training in his usual spot when Momo comes to find him. His mood immediately brightens. Just as he's about to be spoon-fed a metaphor for being pampered and taken care of by Momo, Jij interrupts. Seeing the two of them close, Okarun gets sad and walks away. Human anatomy model, Taro, escapes from the science room and unexpectedly runs towards them. Momo wants to use her superpower to stop it but is hugged by Jij and falls down. The model jumps over them. Momo sees its ball is gold and tells Okarun, then uses psychic power to catch it. But Taro runs too fast, dragging both of them along. Okarun transforms and chases Taro out of the school. Just as it's about to hit a truck, Okarun manages to catch the two of them. He carries them, running on rooftops, chasing Taro. Momo grabs its leg, pulling it back. It desperately grabs an electric pole. After a struggle, the model breaks into pieces and falls to the ground. The psychic power disappears. The pieces fall and merge back into one, continuing to run wildly. They lose track of it. Momo quickly clutches her heart, a gesture related to using her power intensely, and manages to capture a scream. They follow the sound to a scrapyard. Taro endured hardship to get here to find its lover, Hannah, a discarded female anatomy model. Its great love opens Okarun's eyes, making him determined to continue pursuing the one he loves. Episode 12. The 3 bring Hannah back to Siko's house and beg her to let one more person leech off her. The golden ball Momo saw on Taro was just a Christmas ornament. That night, Taro endures hardship again to find its lover, and Jij has another sleepless night because the evil spirit appears in his head again. The next day, Momo and Okarun head to Jij's house. On the way, Okarun talks about mysterious things with the other 2. He realizes his friend Jij isn't that bad. They arrive at Jij's place, a hot springs town, but the people here have weird smiles. Ever since the 3 arrived, they've been watched. Jij's house is on top of a mountain. He cheerfully climbs stair after stair, while Momo and Okarun are panting like dogs trying to keep up. When they enter Jij's house, Momo doesn't sense any ghosts. Maybe the demon is too weak to be sensed. She's confident she can destroy. Momo goes alone to the town and soaks in the hot springs. The 2 guys stay and play soccer, and Jij suddenly asks Okarun if he likes Momo. While the 2 idiots argue about who is closer to Momo, a group of men comes to where Momo is soaking. On Jij's side, he finds a new room next to the entrance and punches a hole in the wall to look. Inside is a deep black hole. And that's the end of the episode. It's a frustrating and heartbreaking ending, right? We'll probably pause this series here because the scriptwriter for this show quit. Currently, we don't have enough staff to continue writing. So, if you're curious, you can find out if this show is still airing and continue watching. But for now, thanks everyone for watching today's video.